Hey, what's up, guys? This is going to review for episode 322 of Naruto Shippuden. Now, I gotta say, this episode was... a lot of stuff did happen, at least as far as action goes. I guess you could say the episode was not over 90% action, really. Now, this episode, of course, ended, or started where the last episode kind of ended, which was of the arrival of Madara. And the real one, not, Toby or Obito, whatever you want to call him. Not him, the real freaking Madara. And he is here, and I guess you could say the episode kind of starts out with not exactly any action, at least not right away, but it was mostly of Kabuto, or the guy that brought back Madara, but then Kabuto took over that guy and everything, and he actually started talking through his body. And Kabuto, I guess you could say, kind of challenged Madara, and he told him about how he made his body even better than it was way back in the day. And then he asked him, like, well, were you there back in the day? Did you actually see it? And he was like, no, but I made some enhancements overall. And, he was like, how much do you know? Or how much did you mess with my body? Do you know the secrets and everything of what happened or what I did? And all kinds of stuff. But at one point, he did actually challenge Madara to pretty much show his power. And Madara, he didn't even show his, power. He just showed, just his freaking skill in general. And he just... when there was thousands and just thousands of shinobi just right there, just standing right there, just not moving a single muscle, Madara just he started walking, and then after all he just started running in there, and I kid you not, but for minutes, it was just him just mowing through them. I mean, he was just destroying them one after the other. I mean, at this point you could pretty much tell that no matter how big your number is, he will F you up, and he will freaking destroy you, no matter how hard you try. I mean, there were just so many times, even when people got close. Even when they got close, he would either dodge or use them to basically kill another one was about to, throw a blade at him that actually had an explosive attached to it. So what did he do? He separated the both, attached the bomb to one of the people, and then threw the knife back at the person that threw it towards him, killed him, and then blew up a whole bunch of people. And it was just, oh my gosh, it was pretty insane. And there was just a lot of action, and he was just mowing through them as if he was just a breakfast meal or something. I mean, it was insane. And when it started getting really, really tense, of course, Naruto's about to join in, but he was like, hey, I'm very, very low on chakra, I can't really do much right now and everything, because I just used up all my chakra in that last battle. So he pretty much just tried to attack, with his, not his regular Sharingan, but his, really, really big Sharingan that's, 10 times bigger than his own body. And him and Gaara, I guess you could say, tried to both attack Madara, but right when he used that Sharingan, or not the Sharingan, but Rasengan, all of a sudden, Madara was already using the freaking Mangekyo Sharingan, and he had Susanoo already out and everything, and it was like a different version of, what pretty much Sasuke has, and it was pretty crazy, and it was just really cool to see it, but that just really sucks. So even Naruto wasn't able to make a single scratch on him. I think only at one point anybody made a single scratch on Madara, but that was out of thousands of people, and of course it was one of the main characters that pretty much did it. And I don't know if she technically made a scratch on him, maybe got a little bit of dust on him that he just wiped off like it was nothing. And again, like I said, it was getting really crazy. And the Susanoo, I guess it has two faces combined or something like that, but it has 4 arms. And he started just attacking with 2 and just hitting the ground, and just the force of it just destroying people all over the place. And then later, when it started getting really tense, when Gaara pretty much tried to hold him down and failed, he decided to bring out the other 2 arms, and suddenly he's going 4 arms and just attacked all 4 at once. And it was getting just crazy. I mean, people are just getting destroyed. They couldn't even do anything. They couldn't even, lift a single finger without, getting killed before they could even try to do anything. And it was just getting really, really tense. And the old man, I don't know what the jutsu was called, but he has something that is lightning style, I believe, but it makes things lighter. So what he tries to do? He tries to use it on Gaara, on his sand, so he can make his sand lighter and everything. and just make a lot of the sand around him lighter. And because of that, Gaara was actually able to pretty much control a big amount of sand. So what did he try to do? He pretty much tried to hold down Madara. And of course, he was able to hold down the Susanoo. He was able to do that. But then within the sand that was underneath him, he grabbed Madara by the feet, threw him out. Naruto, I believe he was in Sage Mode by this time. He came and threw the Rasen Shuriken at him. And all of a sudden, Madara changed his eyes. He was not using the Sharingan anymore. He immediately changed to what Pain was pretty much using. And he switched to that very, very quickly. And he pretty much, I guess you could say, had one of the abilities that, one of the Sage of Six Paths, or not Sage, Six Paths, but one of the members of Pain had, which was to absorb chakra of any shape or form. And he used that and absorbed it. And you should have saw the looks on all of their faces, because they knew that the Rasen Shuriken is very, very strong. And it usually destroys just about anything, really. But seeing it getting absorbed like that, everyone's just jaws dropped. And they're just so surprised. And seeing that his eye changed and everything, the Rinnegan, I don't know why I forgot that. But seeing him, switch that very, very quickly, everybody just, wow, it was getting freaking tense. And Kabuto, of course, told him about that, how he did that. And I believe, I guess you could say Madara was able to achieve that power at the last second of his life. But Kabuto, what he did to Madara's body was pretty much mastered it. He pretty much made the power go even further. And it like I said, it was getting really tense. And, he said, that's not the power that gives life or something like that. And what he did a jutsu, and the Susanoo came up and it did a big giant jutsu, and things even got even worse. People's faces changed again. They were like, is that the power of a god? I think Gaara said something like that. And he pretty much had, I guess you could say, what the Rinnegan was able to do when Pain was, or tried to, make that big giant ball and everything, because they did say that the power pretty much is what created the moon. And this kind of confirmed it, because it was definitely much bigger than what Pain was able to create, and it was just huge. And it was just at the point that nobody could outrun it. No matter how hard you try, you cannot outrun it. So what happens? The old man tries to go up to it, and he uses his lightning style on it, or whatever it was called, to make it lighter, and tries to push it as hard as he can. Gaara gathered as much sand as he could, and after so much struggle, to the point he was getting his fingernails and everything into it, the old man, and they were able to stop it. And then, I guess you could say Madara actually knew the old man, because, well, he's the one that recognized Madara. No, he was the real one. He was like, that persistent old man. And I guess you could say called him a bench sitter or something like that. That was kind of funny. But then he was like, well, I guess I'll have to try even harder. And I kid you, and then he, all of a sudden, when everyone was happy, like, yay, we're alive and everything. And then Madara was like, what are they going to do about the second one? There was a freaking second big freaking ball. And it was at the point, I was like, there's no point of trying. Nope. There's no point of trying. I mean, I would still try, but it was just so insane. It took so much out of him just to stop one from hitting pretty much everybody and smashing and destroying everybody. So after the second one hit, before you know it, everybody is completely covered in dirt, and everybody's been damaged. And it was just really, really crazy. And the episode ends with Madara pretty much using Earth style. Because Kabuto, I believe, at one point did say that, Madara was like, how much do you really know? And then Kabuto basically said that he's guessing that, he could tell that he did not die, where people thought he died. And that in return, he gained a little bit of the first Hokage's power, which was Earth style. And he used it at the very end. And Naruto, and there was a very few people of Naruto, Gaara, pretty much the main characters that were around that area. And yeah, the Earth style was just right about to hit them. And towards the end, what's her face? Lady Tsunade and probably the other Kage were pretty much getting ready to just go on the battlefield. That's all they can do. After all that damage, they gotta do whatever they can. They can't just sit back and relax or anything like that. So we're probably gonna be seeing that next episode, but just seeing it like that, God, it was insane. So all I gotta say is that Madara, he is definitely not no one you should underestimate. Do not screw with. Don't think to yourself it can't get any worse, because it will get worse. And just to give you a small example, he could, for all we know, he could have the power to use planetary devastation. He could. After using that, he could just, go to another battlefield, planetary devastation, and just destroy everybody in his path. And hopefully he can't do that. I'm pretty sure he can't. But, you should not underestimate him. So I'm going to give this a 4.7 out of 5. The animation could have been better, but considering how much action there was and how much stuff happened, I think they did a pretty good job. And just, they really did, I guess you could say, did explain a lot, and it really showed us you do not want to mess with Madara. And things are getting tense, things are getting crazy, and there's a lot of action about to happen. And I gotta say, I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see the next episode. Well, it looks like I gotta wait like everybody else. I really hate waiting, especially after seeing an episode like that. But I'm still just gonna have to wait like everybody else. But at least the good side is that by next week, I should be caught up on Attack on Titan, and I just can't wait to be finally caught up on it. So thank you guys again for watching, and tell me anything that you think of at the end of this episode. Is there anything that you really are excited to see, or anything that you think that they actually did leave out? And do you think he's actually capable of doing planetary devastation, or anything else by any means, really? So thanks again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, there was a couple things I forgot to mention, sorry about that guys, but one of them was that Kabuto towards the end did talk to Madara and did tell him that he thinks that Tobi, also known as Obito, might have different intentions or plans for the future. So in a way he's trying to get Madara to work with him against Tobi, which he's tried to work against Tobi or Obito many times in different ways. And another part, Madara did try to do a summoning jutsu to try to get the Nine Tails, but he was able to actually tell that obviously it's sealed in someone or something. And that's when Kabuto started telling him about Naruto. And the Nine Tails was actually able to tell that someone was trying to summon him, and I think the Nine Tails is going to try to work with Naruto. I really think he is, because it really seems like, it's getting to the point that, he'd rather work with Naruto than, have, any problems or run into Madara again or anything like that. So he's very likely going to be willing to help, and I think that's what's going to help in the very beginning of the next episode, because as he's using, Madara's using Earth Style against him, he's very likely going to, use, the Nine Tails chakra, willingly, and is going to save everyone, and that's how they're going to make it at the very end. So I'm really excited to see the next episode, and sorry again for forgetting these things, but thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next one.